Hi, my name is David German. We're going to show you a videotape today on what we call Newaza. Newaza is a Japanese art of grappling on the ground. It came from a Chinese art called Qinna. I've chosen probably 10, 12, maybe 15, maybe even 20 techniques to show. In the middle of all these techniques, I'm going to probably ad-lib and try to get an idea across to you on how some of these different grappling arts will work. Now, instead of me just standing here talking, what I'd like to do is bring out one of the instructors from the Las Vegas studio, Ralph Anderson, and just actually start. Okay, would you like to lay down here with me? The very first motion that we're going to learn is called Kezugatami. Now, I'm not going to use any of the fancy word. We're just going to call it a scarf hold. His hands are up in a position like this. Just hold them up here. Now, one thing we have to remember, why are we on the ground grappling around? We're probably on the ground grappling around because we're doing karate or boxing and someone knocked us down. So when we're on the ground grappling around, we want our mind to be physically tuned. We want our body to be tough enough to absorb the blows that we're going to have to take. First motion is Kezugatami. By the way, this is the hold that Anton Giesink, if you've ever heard of him, he was the greatest Olympic champion we had. This is what he won the judo contest with. After he'd gotten taken down, he went into Kezugatami, called scarf hold. You're opening the guard up here, you're squeezing around here, and you're locking. I personally like to grab my leg. Now, some of the other instructors might wish to change it just a little bit if they want. Now, right now, it really doesn't look like much can happen. Okay, from here, I'm going to go through the whole set of ideas and patterns first. You have Kezugatami, then you have what's called an arm lock in through here. This is where this locks in through here, and you actually pull on up here. Now, don't worry, I'm going to take care of this arm in a little while and show you that he's not going to reach up and hook my face with it. I'll show you how to counter that really quick. This is basically called an arm lock. From here, we can go into what we call a sleeper. This is where we pull this out, shove it across here, tripod ourselves out like a camera tripod would have, using this bone into the carotid area, tripoding in here, and going into what we call the sleeper. Okay, now you have to remember, these are all basically going in sets. From here, after the sleeper, you shove your hand across, and you're going to grab this area in here, and you're going to go into what's called a cross arm bar. Again, I'm still going to take into consideration this thing does exist. He can knee me, he could come over and kick me. There's a lot of things to take into consideration. What we're doing is trying to get the point across on how to practice such a specific art. It's really an art where you have to get used to the body weight in a cooperative partner. He's laying here as a dead body a minute. After a while, we'll get into some little bit of action with it. This is called a cross arm bar. Now, on television, you'll see this on some of the wrestling where they do this and the guy will scream just a little bit. Ah! Now, if you don't want him to fake the scream, you can take, if you can see this area in here, you see how far that is? Look how far that'll bend. Now watch it. If I... difference in yelling, isn't there? A whole bunch of different... This is called a cross arm bar. From here, we can go into what's called a muscle lock. Say he strengthens out and he forces it out some way. Again, I can take this area of the bone, put it into where his tricep area is, and tripod on it, and I can squeeze it. That's just one more method. I could bring it on up into a position and through here. From here, this is an interesting thing. Try to keep your head down. Try not to lift it. Now watch. The reason I'm telling him to do that, because I need to get my hand under his head. He doesn't want me to. So I sort of grab here the material or the meat, whatever. I'm going to take the tip of my elbow. I'm going to hit right in here. He will bring his head up. Look at that. And now I have what's called a gentle neck crank. It's called a gentle neck crank because it's basically being done gently. Imagine what a positive neck crank is, called a death roll. The death roll will tear his vertebrae completely out. You can do it from a guy blasting you with a tackle position. My gosh, you can go into it from 100 different ways. I've ruined a lot of different karate instructors that come into the studio with this. Accidentally, they try to escape from it by ki-eyeing out or whatever. Now, I have pressure here, I have pressure here, and I haven't put in pressure here. I still leave play in here so he doesn't get hurt. If I wished, I could bring it on a little bit farther. I can also, if he tries to knee me, check in through here a little bit. Catch out here, you got growing shots. You will find your own kicks and your own punches to put into it. From here we go up to what's called upper four corner hold. Upper four corner hold, by the way, isn't that good of a hold, but it is a hold that's going to make your body a little bit tougher. You'll learn your balance points and so forth. Okay, he's on a slight angle here. This is where we're at a position here holding on, and I'm going to ride. If he was to go that way, I would sort of move with his body as best as I could. If he brings his hands up, I'm going to lock his head with my knees and squeeze. This is not a good hold, but this is to show you that you can either do this arm or you can do this arm. That's all it's for. It's for memory. He could probably pull my head down and knee me, but we're not going to worry about that. From here, I hook around and I go into what's called a reverse scarf hold. This is where I'm going to reverse the whole process. I'm going to lock it in through here. Before I have done that, I could possibly get into what's called a cradle. Cradle position is where I'm pinning this arm against his body if it's in there, locking him through here, and holding him into this type of position. Now from there I can go into reverse scarf hold. I can go into what's called a shoulder dislocate. If you look real close, this is that slight angle. I bring my, and that'll hold him fairly good. Now, we do not want to sit on top of the person and try this type of an idea, because what about someone coming in and kicking us? We want to be in a position that leaves us less vulnerable. Let's go back into Kezukutami, the very first hold. Remember? His hands were up. This is how we practice it. We come in and we open. We seize it, put our hand down. I like relaxing on this leg a little bit. Bring this leg through, settling out. There's a lot in here you don't see. You don't see my body coming down. Wow. You don't see my body pushing down on the rib cage. If you were to stand on a bathroom scale, and let's say you weigh 150 pounds, and then you grab the bottom of the scale and pull it, you're going to weigh 20, 30, 40 pounds more, depending on how hard you hit. Or if you put 1 foot on the scale, you're going to weigh 1 weight. He is the bathroom scale. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to rest on his rib cage coming down. I'm going to lock it in place. Now, a minute ago, we were talking about this arm that's free. I'll give him a breather. We'll have this arm that's free. While I'm doing all this neat stuff here, he reaches up and hooks my face. Bang! We have a problem. So as soon as that happens, I'm going to turn his head slightly this way. I can use my shoulder, or don't even have to worry about turning it. Or just smash his neck anyway. So he's here, he grabs my face, I turn it, and I drive it. I'm pushing my body against his chest, pulling his neck forward, dislocating quite a few of these if I was to snap it hard. This one here, same idea. It's going to create a torque here. Now look at this. This is an interesting idea. This motion here, and I'm bringing my body forward, which brings his hips up. I force his hips down, bring his head back. He can grab my face all he wants. This is going to come undone. This is going to get ruined. Bang! Now if you look real close, just stay just like that. If you look real close, you'll notice that arm is in a perfect position. Same thing, isn't it? Except I did it with my leg. Very, very, very same hold. This comes out very, very strong. It's a good maneuvering type of position. Say his knees are up just a little bit, and you happen to be on top. Okay, now we're going to turn this way just a little bit, and you can watch what my right leg does. This is my right leg. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook and pull in. If his legs happen to be up. If they don't, I'll do something else. If I can hook both legs and pull in, turn his head sideways, I'm going to take this and pull it out and straighten my body. Now he can hit me in the ribs, he can do whatever he wants. His legs are going to be screwed up. He's going to be about 8 inches taller. I'm going to pull this thing completely out because I'm right behind the earth. Also, if someone's to come in, see what I can do? I can check them on over. I can take this, see here? Whoa, look what I have. I have a snake. It's pretty neat. If I wanted to get fancy, I could tuck it in a little bit. This here is locked in real snug. I have a good lever in through here. I'm going strictly against all the joint lock areas. If I was to use what's called a chest crush, this is where you're coming in and you're locking into a position like so. Another one would be, let's say Ralph is coming in on me. Just stand up a second. And he's coming on me in Kezugatami, or say he's going to come in and choke. The first thing I'm going to do is check his leg here. See this here? Check his leg here. Make him reach with his right hand. And then all of a sudden I'm going to throw this foot on over. Let's trade positions just a little bit, right over here. Now he's coming in to attack. Here's my check. See how the thing extended? And look what I have. I have myself a snake again. These things are very, very painful. I've got a tremendous amount of leverage. I can really wrench that thing. I can break it. Or I can just practice with it. If he's coming in for that very first hold, called Kezugatami, just stand up and come in. First thing I want to do is take my hip and counter him a little bit. I'm going to hit him a little bit in here, and he's going to seize me. As he sees me, I can probably counter off a little bit and go into a nice little armbar. Now you'll notice this is an interesting motion in here. My chest is checking. I like that. I'm checking in here. I don't think you can knee me, I hope. Bring your hand to the hip. It'd be pretty hard. I'm not going to squeeze it. Go ahead and bring the other one in. So it's pretty good. And if I want to end it real quick, I can pull that thing in. Look at how close this is tucked in. It's a nice, easy type of movement. Okay, I want you to sit down a little bit. Kazi, would you come in here and sit between his legs? This next technique you're going to really enjoy. It's for a scissor hold. Sometimes everybody has been squeezed. We're going to take the squeezing motion that someone could possibly do when they're behind you. Now, usually if they're going to squeeze you, they're probably pretty strong and going to knock the wind out of you. And usually if they do that, they're going to end up choking you. So before Kazi learns how to counter this type of an idea, Ralph's just going to squeeze the rat out of him and choke him. You know, basically, if you do that, the fight's over. You're going to ruin the guy's whole day. So as soon as he feels this slight sensation of getting squeezed, what he's going to do is bend over as quick as he can to counter it, grab one of his legs, go ahead, force it over the top as Ralph's pulling back, and Ralph can squeeze all he wants. And what's going to happen? The more Ralph pulls Kazi back, the higher he's going to force his hips up, and I'm going to push them around a little bit like this. And if you look real close in here, this is over Ralph's leg. The white is over the black, forcing the foot down, and it's going to dislocate everything inside. Make him scream just a little bit without... Ah! That's a good scream. Okay, thank you. Now, what happens if Kazi's in the front? He's coming in to the front position. Ralph's going to squeeze. He's going to take his elbow and he's going to use on the inside of the knee area in here. If you haven't felt this, if you catch it just right, it's terrible. It's really an interesting pain. It makes you want to put your leg down. Okay, now I'll do it. You can go ahead and sit down. So here's Ralph. I'm coming in. For some stupid reason, I'm in here like this. He's going to drive this thing down, and you can see that angle. Now I'll use the other angle. He's going to drive this down here. As that happens, I'm going to force on top of that. I'm going to set out, crawling up his body into scarf hold or Kezugatami. Again, this method of newaza is not necessarily as a combative situation, but it's going to teach you how to work with your partner to get your body tougher so you can get into combative ideas. Okay, he's laying sideways again here, and say his knees are up just a little bit. And we're coming in here, and say he's going to choke me or something. Or, just grab my neck. It doesn't make any difference. I'm going to catch him right in through here, force him in through here, and look what I have. I have a nice concave motion here. I am stretching that rib cage out. I am screwing this knee up really good. His head's obviously going forward. I've got his arm checked out. He's not going to bring that up, and I'll show you why. And plus, I can hammer fist in through here if I wish. If someone was to attack, I can drive and stay, boom, and catch back into this again. I can take care of that third person. At least I'm in quite a fairly secure position. I've got a shield, I'm creating pain, and I can do a lot of damage if I want. I can lock it in place, I can maneuver around. I can lock this up here really, really well where it's catching into position and through here. I can check. You look at this nice hammerlock type idea. He's not going to do a front roll out of it because his head's going to keep him from going over. I'm locked into position and through here. And plus I can control the pain threshold in him. The object is not to screw his life up. The object is to have a training partner that's going to be good for you. Here's another interesting concept that you can work on. This tray places a minute, please. Say he's coming in on me from here, and he's coming in, he's going to choke. I check. You can see this, and I check. We could obviously kick in the groin, whatever. You can punch, whatever. But I can throw him on over here, coming into a nice, good, secure position. If Kazi was to come running in this direction here, you can see where you could do that. I don't like kicking and punching in Newaza. That, as you guys and the women will find yourself, obviously you're going to know how to bang, 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 hit, bite, scratch, scream, whatever. The object of this tape is to get you moving, to get you working, not to find the openings for punching and kicking. You will find them yourself if you're in any type of martial arts whatsoever. Whether you'd be on top squeezing them, hitting them, or whatever, you will find these motion. Here's an interesting concept. Let's say we're standing up a minute, and two people are grabbing, and I want to use Newaza against two people. There are, oh my gosh, a lot of sets like this, but what Kazi's going to do, this is Kazi, he's going to put an arm lock on Ralph, and then I'm going to end up trying to do something to both of them. I'm going to face that direction, and then I'm going to turn around and face the other direction. First one, you can see it right in through here. See this arm lock here? I can drive in through here. I've got myself a good arm lock. He's not going to kick me. He's checked. I'm in a position where I can sort of see what's around me a little bit. Ralph's laying on his other hand. I don't have to worry about it hitting me in the groin. His ear, his temple's wide open. I have Kazi all wrapped up in through here really good. I can claw, I can check, I can hit, I can heel stomp. The positions are wide open. Now, if we'll face the other direction, just for fun to see what happens. If I'm in this direction and through here, I think you should have got your pre-places. Again, I'm turning, don't go until I tell you to. Now look, can you see right here? Okay, pull this arm out a minute. This is going to go down on Ralph's arm here. Not here, but here. So, if I was to shoot through here, look at that leverage point. All his weight on his arm bar. Again, I have a strike, punch, bam, and a hit. What's really interesting, you'll notice when you slap a guy in the groin, they react. It's funny, all the years I've been doing this, they all react the same way. They lift up their right leg just a little bit, probably 7 or 8 inches. So if I can slap and I can punch and hit, this is going to hook. Again, I can use this to turn him over just a little bit. Look at these openings. He's pinning him. And you can move out. This is the creativity I hope to bring out of you into this basic idea of Newaza. Sometimes in the middle I'll stop and talk for a minute. This gives me a breather because there is a tremendous amount of body flow that goes through it. Newaza is from a China, Chinese Kung Fu martial art. It has in it a thing called Qigong. Qigong is where you use your air and your blood and you explode all your energies into one motion. Instead of the traditional yelling ki, it's sort of that type of thing. It works out really good. It does tax your lungs quite a bit though. China has all the grappling, all the turnovers. It has all the combinations to learn these motions. In China, it has what we call body sets. Newaza came from China, and Newaza is a, I guess you could say, out of judo, one of the forms of grappling. One of the other things that you can have in Newaza is what's called Taido, a strangulation type of an art. Example, how do you practice strangulation without ruining somebody? He will be on his knees facing that direction, and you learn your sets. Okay, basic bare arm choke. Obviously, bang. A death lock. Rappel choke, etc. Then you can go into wide variety and variations of that. Then you go into more fancy ideas. Face me just a little bit. Say he's right in through here, and we're contesting just for fun. And my job is to get a choke on him. And I grab him in here and say he puts his head under. You know, maybe he's going to tackle me or something. Look what I have. I have, if you can see this motion right here, you can see this motion coming across. Interesting concept. If he was down low, obviously you can use a bare arm choke. There's only so many choke, but we could probably categorize into 60, 70, I guess, whatever. There are what we call turnovers. Example, he's here, and we're getting ready to contest. I can seize him through here and turn him over this way using his head. Now we'll take a slightly different angle. Ralph will be about here, and watch what happens. We'll find out if I shoot through here, and you can see, look what I'm into. I'm into what's called shoulder dislocate. You remember a minute ago when we did the Newaza, and he was laying on his back, and I went from here and worked all the way around his body into this position to here. That's where that hold came from. Except I utilized it from what we call the head spin. Another type of an idea, say he's on his hands and knees again. One other set is say I'm reaching for here. I can reach and I can pull through and counter by going on. Or I reach for here and he moves it out. I can ride this arm down, which is putting my body, just lay down a second, which is putting my body on this, coming on down. Once I'm down, if I want, I can bring his head sideways, a direction that it doesn't want to go. Another one would be, if I'm in through here, I can grab, force, and check a little bit. If you want to kick and you want to punch, you can bring your elbow way up, strike, and drive in through here. A lot of different directions you can go in Newaza. When you grapple, like some of the instructors when we talk about grappling, they will say, how can we get good at it? Well, one method is to have your students line up around you, teach them one hold, the very first hold called kezugatami, or the one we call scarf hold. Have them attack one at a time, and give them 15 seconds to get on you, 5 seconds, a minute, whatever. I usually suggest about 10 seconds. Time you say go, 10 seconds to get on you. This gets you tougher, gets you moving, and you know what's happening. As you progress, they're allowed 2 holds, then 3 holds, then 4 holds. Pretty soon, you as an instructor are grappling your whole class. They're not grappling each other, so they get the experience of the contact with the instructor. Their body gets tougher. They're learning what grappling techniques are. And the results is absolutely phenomenal. Eventually, they're contesting 4 holds. Newaza should be done at a medium speed. It should be done probably in increments of probably 1 to 3 minutes. Eventually, you can build up to 15, 20 minutes. I've seen instructors go up to 4 hours. There are a lot of instructors out there that have that ability to go up there once they learn how to breathe and find out where their balance and where their rhythm is. There's a lot of holds like, we'll say the figure 4, or the Indian death lock, or the double leg stretch. Say his legs are crossed, so just go ahead and sit up a little bit. And cross your legs and pull them in tight. If I was to put my foot in here, you can see where it's at. Some reason I'm in there and he's locking me up. I could hook right through here, trying to hook this foot. You can see where that's at if you can get an overview of it. It's quite a hold. That's terrible, isn't it? But it's quite a hold. There's a way to get out of it. If he can take the pain. He can crawl up at me provided I don't punch him. There's a lot of ways to get in and out of that particular type of a hold. Okay. Kazi, you want to come out here a second and trade with Ralph? Give Ralph a chance to fix his belt. When you're standing up and you're contesting, whether it be judo or just the newaza arts, in my particular style of newaza, I don't like takedowns. And I'll tell you the reason why. Injury. You don't go into takedowns until you have a partner that you can absolutely trust. You will get injured. You do grappling from the ground because that's where you're going to be. You're going to be messed up by someone kicking you or punching you when you're on the ground, so you want to get tough that way. We have hundreds of takedowns as we use strictly as takedown. Then we go into newaza. But you have to learn how to fall first, and we're not going to get into that today. But one of the takedowns in newaza is neat. If you were to take the gi, turn this hand upside down, here. You can refine that with a t-shirt too, by the way, and you can do it with a bare arm, but this is nice and simple. If you were to take your gi and turn it upside down, or take your hand and put it in your gi and turn it upside down, you can see where you have the leverage of pushing across. This is fine, but it's easy to counter. What we're going to do is we're going to drop into a type of a position. Remember this position here? He's coming and sticking his head underneath and catching down. Another one is locking this hand upside down. And you can see my leverage point. Could I pull him up into a sit-up position, bring my knee in, and strike? Sure I could. He's probably going to be already knocked out, so he won't feel the knee in the face, but you can see where your positions could be. Bang. Not only this knee coming up protecting me, my growing area, I'm in a position to kick someone out, plus, you know, you can literally tear his head up. If you want to escape from this, you can move into a position, pancaking out on him, driving him on around. Again, checking him as much as you can. If he was to bring his knee up, like we went over again, you can hook through here, turn it around, look. I've got myself one nice, fancy cradle. Plus, I can control his pain. What about my right knee? Watch this. This is me. Could I could literally bust his spine, couldn't I? Torque his back this way, snap him with a good knee kick in here, which is a pretty violent thing to do into newaza. Thank you. The head spin that we went into, let's get on our knees a second. The head spin that we went into was probably a nice, easy maneuver. The left hand's going to grab here. The right hand's going to grab here. We're going to go underneath it, torquing his head this way. If you do it fast, the guy won't practice with you again. He won't even like you. Do not spin the head faster than the body will go. The whole idea of newaza is to learn how to have controlled pain threshold. What is a pain threshold? It is the limits of what you can take without getting injured. What you can take, that's the key word. Not what I can take, or what Kazi can take, or Ralph can take, but what you can take. This might be painful to someone, bang, something else might be painful. You have to find out where your pain threshold is and work in that level of reality. Anyway, this one here is an interesting concept. Again, you're spinning. Now take a look at what my knee can do. I can drive his head in real good if I wanted to. Again, I can bring him on back into this position. This is really an interesting motion. This is called a reverse arm lock. Here it is, right here. I'm going to grab and I'm going to break it into this position. When I say break it, I don't mean snap it. It's going to tear the joints and all this other mess that's in here out. Plus, if you look real close, all my weight will be on him. See the difference? Right now I'm putting it down here to hold his, so he doesn't, ruin his health for the day. But basically right here, all this is a reverse one of these. That's an interesting concept. This is called a cross armbar. This is a reverse cross armbar. This, by the way, is very hard to do. You have to find someone that will cooperate with you, tell you where the pain is, and then work there to find the angles. These do not work unless you practice on someone that will practice with you. If they don't practice with you, you're going to be fooling yourself. And you have to be able to get into condition enough to eventually contest with your instructor or your students or somebody else that's going to make it benefit. In reality, come on over here a second. In reality, if you can box and you can kick, and you know your katas in karate or kung fu or whatever, and you knew an Newaza, if they beat you then, they've earned it. Newaza is the ultimate conditioning exercise for flat out fighting, kicking, punching, and everything else. When you're into Newaza, your body will get tougher, your mind will get tougher, you'll work harder than you ever had in your life. The main thing is do not get injured, do not injure anybody with it. Find out where your working out ability is. It's like sprinting. How far can you sprint? Well, if you sprint a mile, you might have a heart attack, so you might sprint 100 yards and just increase it on up there. Same is true with Newaza. You have to find out where your pain thresholds, your mental, and your physical. The hardest part about Newaza is finding the right partner to work with. Remember, Newaza is an art where you're not pinning somebody. You're not holding him down for 1, 2, 3. Because while you're holding him down for 1, 2, 3, somebody comes in and kicks you, or jumps on you, or hits you with a big board or something like that. Newaza is the art of mental and physical toughness, awareness. You have to find out what holds will fit your body the best, where your strong points are, where your weak points are. If you have any handicapped ideas on your body, whether it be hearing, seeing, there's a famous martial art master named John Strossnider, who was the head of MATES, Martial Arts Training for Exceptional Students, trained the blind team in Newaza. Very, very good thing for the blind people to learn. I think he was doing it in LA, in an art called Budo Jujutsu, which is a very famous art, by the way. There are probably 1,000 ways to practice it. Here's one way we can practice it. Let's say Ralph is over here, and I'm on my back, and you're going to come in and you're going to grab a cross arm bar, let's say. The first thing that's going to happen, let's read this angle here. The first thing that's going to happen, how do I tell him to grab a cross arm bar? I'm going to give it to him. I want him to grab it. Why should I work for it? He's coming in, I'm going to check him, he's going to, there it is. He doesn't know it, I can punch. If I did punch it, he was really not going to hurt that bad. He grabs the arm bar and he goes and puts it on. The first thing I have to do is I have to make him think that he's really got it secure. Now, I can make him feel he's got it secure by screaming and yelling, but if you really look, you see the distance between here and here? He doesn't have it secure. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn him on over and we'll show you how to do that in a minute. This here is nice and close, it's tucked in. Okay? Now we'll try it from this angle here. He's going to grab the same cross arm bar from this side again. Same arm bar. Now, here's where I counter. If you look real close. And one of the arts we teach is called pushing hands. This is like a pushing hand technique. As he comes in to grab the arm bar, I sort of counter him over. Now look at where the tip of my elbow is going to go. It's going to go right in through here. So go ahead and grab the arm bar. He's going to go. He's going to go, or his ribs are going to go. And I'm going to maneuver him on over again. Now I know where his left arm is, or his right arm, whatever this is, because I can slightly feel it. If it was up here, I would do my leg. I want to feel where his arm is. I don't want to be surprised by getting grabbed. Weird. It'll mess up everybody. Another one, we're here. This is called a death roll. I was hesitant to really show it. If you do it right, you're going to ruin them forever. If you do it wrong, you just escape. Death roll is basically, here it's out of an art called Shina. It's usually done from a person tackling you. The harder they tackle, the worse off they're going to be, but you can do it from a mini position. This is the safest way because he's already down. All I'm going to do is put him in through here. This is over, this is under. Turn him on over, and I sit up. I cannot put my hips on the ground without breaking his neck. This is forcing this whole mess this way. It's forcing this back here. We're literally stretching everything in sight pulling his neck muscles loose, and you can see why it's called the death roll. I can escape whenever I want. I can turn over when I want. I can have him somersault over if he was ever. You can see where he can go. I can control him into a lot of different positions. Another idea you could possibly use was when I'm grabbing an arm lock. Okay. Let's say, for some reason, I want to be on the bottom. What that reason is, I don't know. But for some reason, I want to be on the bottom, maybe as a shield. Maybe I'm completely exhausted. Maybe I'm half dizzy. Maybe I need him as a shield so I can breathe a little bit. You know, you never know why you're down. So I'm here. I got a good arm bar on him. I can make him submit, but I don't have quite the energy. Okay, what we'll do is we'll turn at this angle here, and I'm going to let him escape a little bit and pull him on me. He's going to straighten his arm out, and I can hook, and now I can rest. I went from an arm bar to a snake. These things are painful. I bent the thing really bad. Now I'm going to stretch his biceps out a little bit, and at least I can rest. I have no weight on my chest. I have him in a controlled position. I know where this other arm is because I can feel it under me somewhere. He's not going to go grabbing me if you pull your arm out somewhere. There's nowhere for him to really put that thing. See? Nowhere at all. There's a lot of things you can do. You can go into wrist flexes if you want. And in this form of Newaza, we don't really do, although there's a lot of instructors in our studio, we really don't do a lot of this stuff. I don't like that crude. I like good, flat out torturing him. In other words, if he's grabbing me, I'm not going to do some of this too easy. maybe the easy way is the best, I don't know. Another thing we can do, say we're here and he's, I'm up in here and he's going to choke me with both hands. First thing I'm going to do, choke hard. He's squeezing hard, right? Wait a second. What I've done is, you look real close, I've got him to straighten his arm. This is nice. Once his arm is straight, see, I'll push him down, he'll push me back. Watch my left leg. I'm going to throw it across and look what I got. Behold, here comes Kazi around from this angle here. I'm going to hit him with a round kick. Boom, drive him in. Stop him through here. I can check. If I want, I can, if his head's up a little bit and I want to really smash him, I can drive. One, and I can come up into a position. Now see how he's laying like that? Just bring your leg just like he was. I came up into that position and he's laying like that. Okay, from here, I want the shield again. My energy's regained. I can hook. Turn him completely over. And I'm still keeping my eye on this third person running around. If I have the time and the energy, I can snap him loose in here, dislocate his lower back. I can step up and kick. I can take on that third person. And even if I made him a lot of mistakes here, he's going to be in bad enough shape by the time he gets his mind and his body working again. Maybe he'll think about it. And maybe the third person might be injured a little bit by coming in. Remember, Newaza is for three people. It is for you grappling a person and being aware that the other third person exists. You're on the ground for a reason. Somebody hit you. They knocked you down. One question is, who's better? A point of reasoning. Is a boxer better than a wrestler? Karate man beat a judo man? You always hear these questions, especially in the martial arts and the fighting field. I've fought some good hardcore pro boxers. I've trained pro boxers. I had Dynamite Mac Foster. The only one ever beat him was Muhammad Ali. The only way to beat Mac Foster was crawl at him, and probably pray a little bit while you're crawling, take him down and, rack him up. So to beat a boxer, you should know a little bit of a boxing, what he can throw in the grappling. To beat a karate man, basically the same idea. Most of the people in the karate and kung fu field, although they're absolute great, and if they kick you, they're probably going to tear you apart. But if you can kick and you can punch and you can grapple, you have one more edge. So the name of the game is find out what you're the best at. Use Newaza as the catalyst to get your body tough. Know that if all else fails, at least you'll be tough enough to absorb what they're going to throw at you. And if you happen to become good at it, you're going to become a great fighter. If you're going to counter a boxer, know how to slip, how to jab, how to whatever. You don't really have to know how to box that good to know how to do a karate man, know when they're fake, be aware of spinning back kicks, the whole gamut. In judo, believe it or not, from my experience, and I've been in this forever and ever and ever, very few judo guys know grappling on the ground. Doesn't mean they can, it means they're perfecting their throws so much. Same with the grapplers. A lot of them don't know throws too much. So the product should be you. And you as a product should find out where your kung fu lies. And I use the word kung fu. Kung fu means specially where your kung fu lies. Is it grappling? Is it kata? Is it weaponry? Is it history? Or whatever. It really doesn't make any difference. We use Newaza as a tool to make us all get in tune to our physical body, our physical motions and emotions. I would make jokes sometime about Newaza. It's a form of forced yoga. I'm bending them into positions that they would not normally be bent in and trying to make them scream. You can tell a fake scream from a real scream. It can be done. You can probably even tell on the tape. Sometimes you may be overacting with a scream, but there are real screams on there, believe me. There are locks that are going to go into holds that will completely take you out literally forever. There are a lot of karate men running around this country that have felt these holds put on them by myself. And they are Newaza practitioners now. There's a tremendous amount. There's quite a following into the Newaza. Eventually, I would say probably another 5 or 6 years, the word Newaza, I hope, blends into the art and blends out into the meaning of China. China is probably going to be the martial arts, I think, of the late 90s, if it's done right. If it's done wrong, you can't feel it. If it's done right, it's very, very torturous. One of the products in Newaza would be, let's say Ralph's coming in for like a judo throw. I don't usually get into throws, and I don't plan on this type of video, but he's coming, say, for an underarm throw or something. I mainly can just step back, just completely move out of the way. Come in hard. Yes! And you can move it out of the way. As he's catching on down, I've got him checked out in here. He's going to react probably with this arm here by straightening it a little bit. Look what I have. I have a lock in through here. This is going to twine. I'm pinning him because he's not going to do one of them fancy rolls on me unless his head stays in one place. He's going to be walking north and looking south. I've got him. That was neat. A 1 and a 2 and a... Oh, that's painful, isn't it? That is a dislocate on the shoulder. Done so mild, you'll never believe it. By the way, if you want to see that standing up, this is an interesting concept. In China, his hands are on his hips, we'll say, and face that way just a little bit. In China, you'll see the motion in one of the tapes we did that looks something like this. All that is, it's simple. It's what I just did on the ground, except it's a standing idea. All that is faking through here, and going through here. Faking through here and going through here, turning, and look what I have. Look at this. That's the same thing I did to him on the ground. If you can do it standing, you can do it on the ground. It does take a little bit of refinement to do on the ground because his body won't move around and it'll scream a little bit funny. The choking combinations that are into Newaza. Example, there's one choke where you should be on your back. Let's say he's on his back first. His knees are up just a little bit like that. And you're sitting here for some reason and maybe beating him up or he's beating you up or whatever. And here comes some maniac. Don't do it though. So you're going to grab him through here into a deep V. You'll see the V effect. Now, I can choke this way, but say he's been choked. He's not going to feel it that much. He can fake it and counter. He might even fake it and pretend like he fainted. Then when I let go, bang, 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 like he types on my head or something, you know? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook in here, I'm going to secure this leg, and I'm going to turn him over after torturing him a little bit and pulling with that lever. You can see that was a good facial expression. This is going to knock him out completely. If I wanted to, I can let my right hand go. This is the right hand over here. It's on, see how I had him crossed? I can let this hand go. Bring your hand back where it was. And he's right in through here. And what I want to do is maybe leave an opening so he takes this right hand and pushes my chin back. He's going to counter that. Remember a little bit ago we said we wanted his arm to straighten out? See it start straightening out? I'm going to force back with my chin. He's going to push. I'm forcing, and look what I got. I have that doggone snake again. These things are everywhere. They're a wonderful, wonderful technique if the guy doesn't mind you sticking your foot in his face. The idea of snakes in Newaza is, oh my gosh, probably as old as time. That was a snake. This is a review just a little bit. This is that cross arm bar we were talking about. And if I want him to maneuver around a little bit, I can maneuver him all the way around. Now watch what happens if I want to train him into contesting with me and make him contest with me a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cross arm bar on him. This is a fun technique. Probably looks sadistic, but they are fun, providing you know your partner body well and know not to injure him. See how I'm touching right in here? I'm checking him. I always know where his check's at. Subliminal training, you should know where this thing is. You don't want to be kicked in the face. And I can see Causey sitting over there and everybody else. I know where people are at. This is going to make him submit. I didn't gain nothing from that, though, did I? What I need him to do is I need him to put a cross arm bar on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to force this around. I'm going to force this around that way, just a little bit, as I create pain. And look at what happens. He's going to crawl over the top of me, and he's got an arm bar right here on me. He's got an arm. Now it's my turn to react again, and I can go back. Then I can secure whatever I wish. So you can do these sets. You can go back and forth through these sets, and you can work your body motions back and forth with these sets. It's a fun, very fantastic, beautiful art to do. As far as the angles go, what you want to try to do, trade with Causey just for 1 second. What you want to try to do is just a rule of thumb, you can change it as your balance gets better. You want your body to be on, we'll call it, we'll just for namesake, we'll just call it a 90 degree. He's this direction, I'm this direction. Basically in through here. If he moves, just move one way or the other. See, I'm just going to move with him. And notice, come on back a little bit, as he moves around faster. As he moves around, I try to keep my elbow touching him just a little bit. I don't want to hold him. I want him to move around as much as he possibly can. My weight is on him there. If he is a better grappler than me, by the time he gets out, he's not going to have no energy to hurt me. So, as he starts to move around, I can move around a little bit. I'm going to actually, he's moving. I'm not crawling, I'm on him. That's the first stage. That's difficult to do. If you try to stand still, you can keep going. So basically, he can possibly go on. Now we got a problem. Now we got a big old contest starting. Then I might have to catch into one of these motions and shoot him through here. But you can work this out. It's called a lazy Susan effect. He's a rotating plate. I'm on top of it. I just want to move around. Let's say he races around this way fairly rapid. See, there's my 90 degree again. I'm on him. I know where he's going to be. If he grabs me and moves, he's moving me anyway. That's go the other way. He's moving anyway. He's working his energy. It might look like he's escaping, but by the time he gets out, he's not going to have no energy. All the weight's on my toes, and he exhaled real loud. And right there. And by the time he gets out of that, he's completely out of gas. Thank you. On this particular type of a thing, this is what's called a half crab. A full crab is dangerous to do because if you lose your balance, you're going to fall. You're going to snap the person's lower back. Come on over here just a little bit. A half crab is neat, and we'll do it standing up too. You've seen me do this a few times in probably every tape that I've ever done. But it's locking this through here. I have a leverage here and here, and I'm going to drive this out. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. But that's called a half crab. Now, how that would work standing up would be, if he's right about here, I'm going to take his wrist, force down, and look right. That's a weird sound, isn't it? But I'm going to take him right in through here. Another thing that's neat is, say I'm coming in on him and he brings his knees to his chest and he decides to maybe push me back. As he pushes me back, look what I have. I have myself a beautiful beautiful leg strangle. You see these tendons in through here? This bone, you do it wrong, not going to work. If you do it right, they will make weird sounds. This bone in here is going to sit into this tendon. This is going to be under the arm. Not here, but under the arm. Now as I fall back, I'm going to wrench this thing. Put this down a minute. I'm going to wrench this right in through here. I can throw this over to secure it. I can start maneuvering back around in strangling. I can maneuver back into this position if I want. It'll work. That's a lot of cracking sound, isn't it? and work a lot of different motions in like that. It's something that works out very fast, very flashy, and very accurate. The motions here, again, when we were on the ground, you've seen me have a motion that looked like this. Remember, I was laying across him. Say he's in here, I can throw through here. I can take him on down, completely move him on over, just roll it over. You guys see that? You okay? And I have him pinned in through here, really solid and secure. Checking in hammer fist if you want. If I didn't want to do that, this is what I could do. This is nice. This can usually be done from the ground too, but it's easier for him to do it this way. Instead of throwing him down, lift him back up. What about this hand? No way. He puts it in my face, I'll tear this thing out. Now I can go to the ground. Look what I have. I have myself a wrist, shoulder dislocate, and a gentle neck crank, all wrapped into one, and still have them in a secured position. These are very dangerous and very hard to do from that position to take them down without screwing up their whole life. The method of China and Newaza are intertwined so much that you can have passive body sets, you can have violent body sets, you can have body sets that utilize 1, 2, and 3 people. The art of Newaza is really finding the accurate instructor, finding the participant, and not getting injured. Remember, if you get injured, you're going to have to get healed. And that's taking time away from Newaza. The pressure point system. We don't really believe in a pressure point system per se, because when you're in Newaza, there's so much pressure always on you, that you don't feel the pressure points. But what you do feel is, remember the bathroom scale idea? You stand on the bathroom scale, you pull the bottom of the scale, you weigh more. There it is, there's the scale. I pull down, I push. He's really, really smart. Doesn't mean that he can't react, but it will make his head lift up. When his head lifts up, we're into this type of motion here. And they always keep that knee bent. I like that because I can bring him on around. If he brings this knee up here, watch what happens. Just drive it in. Just drive it in. I'm in a secure position. I want him to have to use all his healing energies in his body to take out the sting out of him. Take the vinegar out of him, I guess you could say. Again, even if that Boston craft. That's the cradle. Remember that cradle? He's too strong in his legs. He moves it out. He kicks it out. Kicks it. I'm driving. He's using his energy. I switch it into here. I can give him vitamin E. What does that mean? Elbow. E for elbow. I can work it. This will make him use more energy on me. When he gets up, boy, he doesn't want to do anything except go home, take a bath, take a shower, and go to bed. So when you're doing your Newaza and you're doing your grappling art, find the proper partner to work on. Don't torture him like what I did. We're overdoing it a little bit. Don't get too dramatic with it. Find 2 or 3 holds you like. Contest with these 2 or 3 holds. Get your body toughen up. Then maybe you want to learn how to get into them from a kick, or from a punch, or from the judo position, or whatever martial arts you're in, whether it be Japanese, Korean, or Chinese. When you get your martial arts perfected, along with the conditioning in Newaza, they will blend. They will blend like a puzzle. All of a sudden you'll start seeing, wow, there is an opening there. Right now, a super fast kicker might slam you in the head with a round kick. As you train, you're not that fast. You're good, but not that fast. You have to find out what, in reality fighting, what is the best part of your body that if you were to sit down and say, hey, you hit me, I have to choose the spot you hit me. Maybe that's the opening you have to leave. Thank you for watching the tape on Newaza. I hope you've gotten a good insight on exactly how to train. The magic to training is having a tremendous amount of sweat, ability, and a correct partner. The next series that we're going to do on the video is the choking arts, strangulation arts. We're going to try to tie that in with boxing, judo, jujutsu, wrestling, and karate. I would like to say thank you to everybody that's watching this tape. I would also like to thank Ralph Anderson, the president of our White Tiger Association in Las Vegas, and the gentleman that tried to make us look pretty good out here, Kazi. I hope you have a safe and secure future in your martial arts and your quest for knowledge. Taito is a very interesting and very highly sophisticated and dangerous art. Thanks a lot for watching.